It's Indiana in the morning here on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. She is Nicole Sipos, Indiana Borough Manager, joining us here this morning. We were talking about trying to get around this town lately, which is not the easiest thing in the world. Nicole, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you with us. Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. You know, we look at our streets and our sidewalks and we say, we have it pretty nice here in Indiana Borough. There's been a lot of work done in the last 10 or 15 years on them. But that work isn't done yet, is it?
No,
we still got more to do.
More, and we still, talking about sidewalks, we still have that sidewalk program going. If you look around town, we had so many repairs on sidewalks. So many people took advantage of the, we had ARP funding set aside, about $100,000, and we increased it with another $50,000. So we've had probably replaced over $100,000 worth of sidewalk repairs and, in the borough. So that is still ongoing. So I encourage any residents to call our code office. You know, how it works is if the code officers go out, they deem the sidewalk needing any type of repair or full replacement, the borough will reimburse you either $50 for to repair your pad or up to $7.50 per square foot to replace your whole sidewalk. Mm-hmm. So many people are taking advantage of it, and you can tell because all the sidewalks in town are getting fixed. So it's a great thing. It's a great project, and we hope to keep this project ongoing and maybe find funding in the future and kind of replenish this fund.
Yeah, well, it's actually a very important thing from a liability standpoint for all of the different property owners, and probably there are property owners that don't realize they're responsible for the sidewalk in front of their place.
Exactly, yeah. So, in wintertime you have to maintain it, and it's just the same way in spring and summer when, there's objects on the sidewalk or, cracks that need repaired.
Yeah, when you've had trees growing beside them, the roots have just come up and they've uprooted and pushed those sidewalk panels up. Those are things that need your attention. So it's good that people have been taking advantage of it. And it's for anybody within the borough, right?
It's for anybody within the borough, yes, that is correct. So please call the code if you think that your sidewalk or, if this is the time to do it while the funding's available.
Yeah. You're going to have to do it anyway. You might as well do it when you get some help. Yeah, so that's one thing going on. In our news today, we have something about a hearing for the block grant.
Yeah, the CDBG block grant hearing is at 6:30, and then tonight is our work session council meeting, and on the agenda is to pass the resolution for the 2023 funding for the CDBG block grant money. Hopefully that funding then we'll use there's a big project going on 15th Street, down by South 15th Street. That's kind of phase one that we're using 21 and 22 funding from that CDBG funding from. And so hopefully that project is a storm sewer repair project, and it's a $384,000 project.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a big project. If you go down in that area, they have big excavators down there digging it up. So just be aware of that area. Is they started to work yesterday. We're looking probably 4 to 6 weeks down there.
So you're looking at 15th around Gompers?
15th and Gompers, yeah. The 1500 of Gompers in the rear of church down in that area. So hopefully the resolution will get passed tonight, and then phase two of that project will probably use the funding. Now, we're trying to come up with ideas, too, because, the CDBG block grant funding is, something we work with the county on and the county administrators. So it's funding that we take advantage of for the borough.
Sure, yeah. So. And so you've still got some ideas to toss around.
Yeah, and we've been getting some ideas. It's obviously these hearings are open to the public, and we get public input on some of the areas that need repaired.
And there's no such thing as a dumb idea. So if you have an idea, then you want to get that out there so that people can examine whether it's something that is practical to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's happening tonight. What else is going to happen tonight with council?
The police is giving, Chief Shaw is giving his mid-year update on the police is what's on the agenda, the mid-year review. And we're going to be talking about the 2024 meeting schedule. So moving into 2024, what council is going to be down to 8 people. So how is our structure going to look? Right now we have, 5-6 committee meetings that meet monthly. So now with 8 council members, we're going to talk about what the structure is going to look like in 2024.
Yeah, with the reconfiguration of council, is there the possibility that some committees could be folded into each other?
Right, and some committees we can probably have as needed, like administration during budget cycle time. They can meet like during that time when we're doing budgets and that. So some can be as needed.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to consolidate some of those meetings.
So looking at that at council tonight and whatever else comes up, I'm sure that there are always things that come up that everybody sort of turns and looks at each other and says, I never thought about that.
Yeah, hopefully those are only 2 things on the agenda. So, but you never know. We can always be surprised.
Yeah, and people are invited. That's something that we probably need to point out from time to time is people are invited to come to these. These are public meetings.
They are public meetings. It's open to the public. We start at 7. Again, tonight we'll be there at 6:30 for the CDBG hearing. But other than that, come. We welcome the input.
Yeah.
There's time for people to make comment.
We mentioned the project down on 15th Street. There's a project on the other end of town.
The Second Street.
The Second Street.
That's done. That should be done. That road should be opening pretty soon. They're just trying to fix the. There's some areas of the side of the road that needs fixed for safety reasons.
Yeah,
So.
and people have been trying to get up through Philadelphia Street, which is a little bit challenging here and around the East Pike interchange. Of course, boy, don't you remember a couple of years ago when they were talking about a roundabout?
Yeah.
And whether that would work. That would work.
That
I spent a lot of time in Hermitage in the last year. My son lives there, and they have roundabouts all over that town. They are so convenient. You don't need traffic lights. It is just amazing the way roundabouts work.
We'll have to bring in PennDOT, get a study out there, maybe, right?
Well, they actually proposed it for that intersection a few years ago, and then it never went anywhere.
Never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, people probably like roundabouts like they like our bulb outs by the schools. I'm not a fan of those.
Yeah, the bulb outs are something else. Speaking of schools, of course, the schools will be opening in Indiana next week.
Yes.
And buses will be moving about. Kids will be on the streets again, and people need to get used to it.
Right. And I want to point out, too, we had our public works crew. I think they came out early this morning. They're painting. They're getting sidewalks painted and getting ready for the kids to come back. So just be aware, I think they're finishing that up this week. So early mornings, our crew will be out. Some of the roads might be blocked off for a little bit while the paint dries, but they're cleaning up some crosswalks and some lines.
That's one of the things that it's an important piece of business that gets done every year in advance of the school year, but it's something that you shouldn't, just because it gets done every year doesn't mean you should just take it for granted, because it's really important for the kids, the visibility.
Right. And so hopefully, people, we put out the pedestrian signs, so just please, follow the pedestrians yield signs.
I know Chief Shaw would appreciate it as well, that everybody be really, really careful. School kids will be moving about, IUP students, of course, coming into town. So as the population increases, so does the possibility that someone could, especially early in this year when they're not familiar with the traffic patterns and everything else, someone could accidentally step out and walk out into traffic, and we don't want any problems.
That's right, yeah. Come walk uptown, go visit the goats. The goats are still going to be here for another week or so. They're up there chomping away at Vinegar Hill.
You go sit on at Iron Sea Park and watch the goats?
I have walked up there a couple times. They've done a great job so far, so now we'll move them to the other side so they can start on that side, hopefully, probably this week.
Yeah. Where do they stay when they're here? They're
up there all night. They have a little tent. They take a break and
the goat tent.
The goat tent. Yeah, we've had people up there we've had a good crowd come and stop by and see the goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody applaud like they stand? Hey,
Yeah.
look at that patch over
They
there.
talk to them. They all have names. I don't know, their names, but the goats are, they're very entertaining.
They're stars.
Yeah.
The Indiana Borough Goats. See, you're going to have to get your own goat team and keep them here permanently.
I know. I think a lot of people like that idea. So.
Well, out where I live in Smicksburg, there are tons of goats. All of the Amish have tons of goats. They'd be happy.
I think some people they just to see a goat in the middle of your town is just fun. So they come uptown, and I guess they were up there for Third Thursday, so it all worked out.
That's terrific stuff. What else, Nicole, are we talking about?
Tree grates. We are starting to put some tree grates all through town. So we got a couple in at IRMC Park, and you'll start seeing them throughout on Philly Street here. They take a while to get in. Our Parks Department has limited crew, so they're going to start working on some tree grates. So that will help with the outdoor dining.
Yeah. What does a tree grate do?
A tree grate, so we have the pits right down on town. If you see where the trees are and the pits, they're kind of open pits. So we're going to take those pits and cover them with a tree grate. So we'll have more of a sidewalk to walk on. And, for the outdoor dining, you'll have more room for the tables.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
There you go. Tree grates are a good thing.
Yeah.
Anything else happening?
Nothing, other than we'll see how tonight's meeting goes and what comes about that. So we'll get ready. We're starting to come into budget season in the next couple months.
Oh,
so.
boy. You seem thrilled about
that.
She's Nicole Sipos, Indiana Borough. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Coming up, the CBS Sports in just a moment or so. We do want to get to this morning's Money Matters report, and for that we turn to Aaron Rial.
When the iPhone 15 launches in the coming weeks, it will likely have a feature that no iPhone has had in more than 10 years. Phil Hewlett explains.
The proprietary Lightning port that iPhone users have become accustomed to since its launch in 2012 will be replaced with the same generic USB-C connector that most other types of phones are equipped with. Now